Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Power Gunner, and this is my breakdown of the gameplay that I said I would break down after I broke down the new trailers and stuff, just because it would be way too long if I put everything into one video, although it's probably already long. So this first gameplay here is from the Karma demo, and this could be after, but I think this is before you go to the dock to actually fight the drug dealers. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's before because I think Fetch is calling you and telling you to go to the docks, but I could always be wrong about that. Also, this gameplay is in Russian, and technically, if I wanted to be super in-depth with this breakdown, I could translate it somehow. Well, I mean, I can't. I actually have a friend who could, but I don't think it needs to be that in-depth. And the game's coming out in less than 3 weeks, so I'll just play it then. Whatever. One thing that I've noticed that I think might be what's happening here, since this gameplay is kind of like free roam, but it kind of seems like it's in a mission, is I think that there are no missions, and the whole game is kind of just seamlessly blended together. I think that there's always going to be the next objective to go to, but you won't always have to go to it right away. Like, if it's something like a bomb that's about to go off, then you're gonna have to get there fast, but if it's just something like meet up with Reggie, then you don't have to go to it right away. But I could always be wrong, but it kind of looks like that in this, and I think it would be pretty cool if it was like this. The only downside that I can think of would be that when you get close to the next objective, it might just start doing the next thing when you aren't ready, and you're just trying to free roam in that area. So here, right above the mini-map, there is a text when Delson enters this area, and I don't know what it says, but the white letters that are above it, I think that's the name of that area of Seattle, and then below it, it says 100%. I'm guessing that means that it's telling you that you have collected 100% of the collectibles in that area, which, if that's what it is, that's really cool if it tells you, because if there's only one more of the collectible that is equivalent to a blast shard, then you will be able to tell where it is just by walking through the areas and not have to search every single spot in the city just to find it. So when Delson walks by something here, some music comes on. I don't know if that's just music from a radio, but it's definitely a cool thing that they've put into this. I think that it might be the music from the news, but it seems to go on a little bit too long and I don't hear any news to have that, and I'm not sure if they have the news stations turn on every once in a while like they did in the previous games to say, well, the beast has now killed the president. We're all doomed, or something like that. Or that could be a new kind of collectible that you find by hearing it, and when you're near it and hear it, you can try to find where it is and then take it. So here, I don't think that the DUP saw Delson, so I think they may have come across another conduit, and I think that this would be an unactivated conduit who is unable to use superpowers, and they're maybe trying to arrest them or something. But they could have just seen Delson, but that would be a really cool sort of like open world element if things are happening, such as the DUP finding conduits and arresting them, and then maybe you could even save them and get good karma or something. And by the way, there is a link to this in the description if you want to watch the full thing. So here we actually briefly see a white satellite, so that could either be a collectible or something that we can drain from, similar to the other satellites we've seen. Here, Delson walks up to a DUP vehicle, and what I like in this game is that the DUP don't know that you're a conduit until you start using your powers or you go through one of their scanner things. So that's really cool how if you wanted to, you could just free roam without using your powers if you don't want to be spotted. But what's cool is that Delson attacks this vehicle with the neon lightsaber, or it's actually more of a neon sword. I'm sure that there's some sort of an official name for it in the game, or maybe there isn't. But anyways, Delson attacks these guys and he takes them all out with his neon sword, and it looks awesome. And one thing that's actually really cool is that if you listen, it even makes lightsaber noises sometimes, so it even sounds like a lightsaber. Also, something that I noticed in the trailer breakdown, and I'm guessing this is only when you're good and using the neon sword, because you are good here, that's why some of the neon is blue, and if you're evil, then some of the neon would be red instead of blue. What the sword does is it actually puts some bands of neon around the DUP which act as restraints, and once they have enough of those around them, then they are captured and subdued on the floor. And Delson also does a subdue here where he doesn't need them to be down on the floor first, and he just does it while the guy's standing up. And that animation looks so cool, how he just turns into Neon and like circles and spins around them, then they are all restrained, and then he just turns back into himself. That looks awesome. I like how there's soundtrack music playing more as you free roam in the game. That just adds a nice element to it. So here, Delsin goes into the tunnel that you are in the evil version of this mission that he may actually be in right now. He's shooting Neon while in the tunnel, and he shoots it at a car and blows up the car. And I love the sound design in this game. Like, every sound just seems so good and so cool. Like, the smoke sounds like smoke, although smoke doesn't really have much of a hearable sound. It just feels like a bunch of particles moving in the air and kind of like wind, and it just has this good sound that sounds like smoke, although you can't really hear smoke that much. So it's kind of interesting like that. Then Neon kind of sounds like some electronic lasery sounds, but it also sounds very smooth. It's hard to kind of describe it, but you can obviously hear it here. I love how when Delsin goes into the tunnel, then the sound sounds different, and there's a bit of like echo, like he's actually in a tunnel. And I love the sound of it hitting the window and breaking the window and stuff, and all of the sound design just seems great in this game. One thing that's kind of strange with that is that Adam Sessler from Rev 3 Games actually thinks that the sound design is the weakest part of the game, and he doesn't like it as much as the other games. I'm not entirely sure why, but he thinks it doesn't give it as much of a oomph as the previous game's sound design did. But I am completely fine with it, and I absolutely love it. So here, Delsin opens up a cage, which I would assume is where some unactivated conduits are in there. That's who I think are the people locked up by the DUP in there. And that actually gives you good karma, which is pretty sweet. What's cool here is that we actually see this DUP guy surrender to Delsin, and then Delsin subdues him. We see this sub a bit later on, and that's just a really cool little element in a game to see the enemies saying like, okay, I'm gonna be killed or something, so please don't hurt me. And I like how they're scared of you and stuff. That seems awesome. So here, this guy is playing in the docks part of that good mission, but he is actually doing the evil thing, and that's when you zoom in and it goes into slow motion. And I actually messed up and said the wrong thing about what this was doing in my breakdown of the Karma gameplay with Fetch. But when it zooms in and goes into slow motion, their head is highlighted in red, and their leg is highlighted in blue. If you shoot their leg, then it subdues them, and if you shoot their head, then it kills them and executes them. And it looks awesome when you just headshot them, which is the evil thing to do, and they just turn red and explode, and they are just gone forever. And yep, there's some more awesome things with the Neon Sword, which just looks so cool, and I really can't wait to do that. When I first get Neon, that will probably be the first thing I do, either that or the Neon Dash. One thing that I just noticed quickly here is that you can actually shoot in the air, so time for a trick shot montage. 360 no scopes. I'm just kind of kidding about that, but that might be kind of fun just to mess around like that. So I love how the touchpad is the new interact button for most things, and it's cool because you feel like you're actually interacting with it by just sliding your finger in some way that would be comparable to Delsin's motion in the game. And there are drugs in this little ice chest that Delsin found. So something that I noticed, and it goes by very quickly here, is when Delsin subdues this guy, it gives him some karma points, but instead of the karma points having the blue star in them, it actually has a blue bomb symbol in them, which we will talk about the karma system a bit later because they show more of what that does. So here, the player actually gets on low health, and we can see again, just like in the previous gameplay, that your health will regenerate when a neon little circle animation goes around you. And I don't think this is actually different from the previous games that much. I'm pretty sure that draining will still regenerate your health, and it's a faster way to do it, but this is kind of just like in the previous games where you had low health but didn't regenerate it, and then over time it'll just regenerate. Just here it all regenerates as once after you've been hurt for a while and not getting hurt more. Alright, so now we are going to talk about the karma system, and also we can see that Fetch can do the Neon Dash, which isn't that surprising, but they have said that Delsin tends to use powers that he gets from other people differently than they use it, but that's not entirely differently. So they neon dash onto this building, and you can see that the karma meter turns into a blue bomb symbol, similar to the points that Delson was getting. So I think that once your karma bomb is almost ready to use, then it will be giving you bomb points, and then once it's ready to use, your karma meter will turn into a bomb, and then you can use the karma bomb, which are the big powers such as the orbital drop, and this one that's about to show, which I'm pretty sure is called the Radiant Sweep. So this looks like they have changed the karma system a lot, and I would assume that once you use the karma bomb, then your karma goes down a lot, like maybe not all the way back down to neutral, but in this case it would probably go back down to one of the lower levels of good karma. So with this, one of the bad things that I could see with it is maybe not having as much fun with slowly building up your karma level throughout the game, but I can see some very good things with this. One example is, let's just say that you have made an evil choice, and you've been evil for like 1/4 of the game, let's just say, and you are starting to see that this is affecting the story in ways that you didn't like it to. So this way, once you use your evil karma bomb, then you can just easily switch over to good, or you could just start doing good and slowly bring down your evil karma meter. So that's cool if people want to change their karma throughout the story. And one other thing that's cool, and I will use the previous Infamous games as an example for this, when I was good and got full good karma, then I really didn't have any reason to keep on healing people or doing good things because it was full, and it wasn't really going down unless I accidentally hit someone. But then with this, once you build it up, then you get to use the karma bomb, and then you will have to build it up again and keep on doing good things if you want to be able to use the karma bomb again. So that's awesome. That gives you more of a reason to do these karma-related things if you weren't as motivated to do them in the previous games. I have actually heard an article say that there's a branching storyline in this, and I'm going to say that I doubt it, and I think the article just used the wrong word or something, because this would be a very complex story, and I don't think it's going to be like that. If it was, that would be awesome, and I definitely think there's going to be 2 endings, and yes, it kind of branches there if there's 2 endings, but if someone says branching, then I would think more like there's multiple endings in the game. And I was trying to think of a good example for this, but I was just thinking up of stupid karma choices that would never be in the game and just wouldn't make sense, and I was spending too much time thinking about it. But basically, by branching, that means that there could be multiple endings, and just because you made one choice, that will affect what the next choice will be, and it might not be the same choice that you have to make later, and it'll be a whole different choice, and from that even make another one. And I don't think they're doing that, but they might be. I would love it if they were. It's just not something that I'm really expecting from them. But I do think there will be 2 different endings, because if there isn't, then I don't really think that we will feel like our choices have really affected the story, and they're saying that that is what they're really going for this time. So with them saying that, it sounds like it will be branching, but they've never done that before. And from other things they say, it doesn't seem like that'll be the case. So yeah, then he uses the Radiant Sweep, and we saw more of it in the gameplay spot trailer, but we still haven't seen all of it in anything. And in this demo, it covers most of it up so that you can't see the full effects of it, but afterwards everything is covered in neon, and it looks awesome. Alright, so this is some more gameplay from the first demo. There's not really much new, but just a few things that I wanted to say about it. So first off, this DUP guy throws a gas grenade, so we can see that that is not smoke, that is another kind of gas that will hurt Delson and slow him down when he's in it. And I'm pretty sure that only the knights have these, and they're blue grenades that are on their belt. One other thing that we see here is that when Delson goes up on this building, what is behind it is there are some woods and a hill, and then we can see on the mini-map that after that, there is water, which I would guess would be the Puget Sound or some other large body of water surrounding Seattle. Now, the Australian IGN said in a video that when they played the demo with the, fetch karma choice, one of them tried jumping in the water, and it just said, press something to respawn, which sounds really cheap. They thought it sounds cheap. I would rather have Delson just die than have water not affect him and make it to where you can't be in water and it just makes you respawn. I think that was just in there for the demo. If that isn't the actual game, I will rant about that a lot, but that doesn't mean I will hate the game. It'll just mean that I am very mad at the game for one thing in it. But yeah, that really sounds like a demo thing. I think in the final version of the game, they will either add swimming, but swimming might be slow, so it'll be like you would rather use your powers anyway, or make it that you die when you go in water, because smoke is like made with fire, and fire and water don't really mix, so that could kill you. And then neon with water, I'm not sure exactly how it could kill you, but they could find a way. So I either want that to kill you or for you to be able to swim, whether it's slow or fast or whatever, and maybe you could even neon dash across the water. That would be pretty sweet. So here, this is the first glitch that I've seen in the game, which this is in a demo, so they have probably fixed this for the actual game. But Delson is doing the neon dash and he glitches into one of the conduit trap cages of the DUP, and he is able to glitch back out, so it's not too much of a problem for him here. But for me, the first two Infamous games had a ton of glitches, and I probably have glitches happen to me almost every time that I play, and that is especially in Infamous 1. But it's weird, because I talked to my friends and they said that they hardly ever have glitches happen to them, so maybe I just have a weird PlayStation 3. But either way, I hope that there are minimal glitches in this game, but if they are, hopefully they're more of something that's fun to mess around with than something that'll mess you up and make you mad. So, we've seen this before, but I think this is a good demonstration of how you can kind of fly with smoke just by smoke dashing a bunch. That kind of seems like the Firebird Strike, which is kind of cool, except for it doesn't look as terrible as the Firebird Strike, because that would just make you lose all of your momentum when you were in the air, and it felt stupid. And you definitely don't lose all of your momentum here. One thing that I think is funny, and this is realistic, but it also seems like it's Sucker Punch trying to put more comedy into the game, which I love, and I think that they have a great sense of humor when they put it into their games. And it's just that I found this funny when Delson does a Neon Thunder drop, which I'm sure it's called something else than that. That's just what Infamous fans can call it for now. This DUP guy goes flying and he screams and he's like, "Ah!" It just seems really funny. Then here we see that the DUP have a melee, which is just hitting you with their gun for now, it seems. There are probably other enemies in the game with stronger melees, but they can smack you with their gun, so that's something that seems more realistic than in Infamous 2, when the militia would just stand there and try and shoot you instead of trying to have any sort of a melee attack on you when you're right in front of them. So these two DUP guards kind of at the same time, so it looks kind of weird because they're doing the same animation at almost the same time. They both surrender and run away, which is quite cool, just like I talked about with the earlier surrender thing. And this minigun guy looks extremely hard to fight, which I actually mentioned in my trailer breakdown, so I won't mention that much here. But yeah, that's pretty much all that there is. A guy on PlayStation wanted me to shout him out in one of my most recent Infamous videos. I don't know why, but I guess he just wants his friends to see his name is in this or something, but his PlayStation name is kid_2_fly_5150. So yeah, not sure why he wanted to do that, but I'm like, sure, whatever man, I'll just do that for you. So I don't know if you wanted to see that or whatever, but yeah, anyways, can't wait for this game. Under 3 weeks left. I am so excited. And by the way, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I'm about to record a video that is a kind of 1,000 subs related thing and talking about the future of my channel and what I'm going to be doing once Infamous Second Son is out. So thank you for watching. And enjoy your face when you look in the mirror, I guess. Unless you're ugly. And then just enjoy this video or my next ones. I don't know. Just enjoy your day. Goodbye.